Hey guys, what's going on? It's Sean of Third Railify, and I hope you're having a beautiful day today. So this video is going to be much longer than my average standalone video because it's going to be like 7 videos in one. Hopefully, you like that kind of thing. We're dealing with a lot of darker stories. Some of the lighter stories I'm going to save for the end. We have first story that we're going to cover is an OnlyFans model. She's 20 years old, and there is some child diddling. Second story, kind of even darker, is about a pedo judge and a pedo fire chief, like in the same town, discussing some really bad things. And so there's there's some darkness in that story, so we'll cover that. Then we'll talk about the Kentucky sheriff who killed his a judge friend of his in Chambers. He finally released as the reason why. We're gonna talk about that. Then we will talk about a New York City male teen who's in juvenile detention was repeatedly raped by his female psychologist who's named a Bigfoot. So that's something, right? Then maybe we'll talk about it's kind of a funny one, Joy Reid. We all love Joy Reid, right? The former MSNBC host that was turfed on her ass because she's crazy. She made a video about how Canada would beat America in a war, and I can tell you, as a Canadian, not so much. Then we'll talk about married teachers lewd text messages to 15-year-old students, and then maybe we can get to how Nike is having a bad time. But also, scientists discover a city hidden under the pyramids. I mean, what a way to finish. You know what I mean? So let's begin with the crazy crazy. OnlyFans model, 20 years old, weeps as she appears in court over child porn charges after filming X-rated videos with the girl and then selling them on WhatsApp. Uh, yeah, that's I don't I don't know why. I don't know why they do this. So an OnlyFans model who created and distributed pornographic content with an underage teen girl dissolved into tears as the gravity of her offense was brought home in court. Ellie Rickson, a 20-year-old girl from Sefton, was told she could face a 6-year prison sentence after creating photographs and videos of a 16-year-old girl taken with her consent despite being incapable of consenting because of age. So, I mean, basically, this Ellie Rickson, this OnlyFans model, was like, "Hey, young girl, do you wanna be famous? Do you wanna scissor me and sell the videos?" And then the young girl, she's a kid, was like, "Scissoring? Sure. What's that like? Kissing? What? What? Yes, it is. Sort of." But after breaking down in the dock, Rickson will be allowed to walk free uh, after she was given a 2-year suspended sentence. We're just gonna let that simmer just for a moment. So the judge was like, "Listen here, lady. Listen here. You did child porn. You raped a child. They couldn't consent, but you raped them anyways. You scissored, you bumped tacos, you cunnilingus and all that stuff. You did bad things. You put fingers where fingers shouldn't go in a kid. You're facing 6 years in prison. You're in a whole lot of trouble, Missy. This is gonna get bad for you. Pussy pass accepted. You're free to go. No jail time for you. Just don't be bad for 2 years. Are you kidding me? Like wow. The content, created over a 7-month period during, which the girl turned 17 was sold on WhatsApp by Rickson, with the pair agreeing to share the proceeds generated between them. Liverpool Crown Court heard. Now, one of the things that is so uniquely broken about England is that they have it in their judicial philosophy that women can do no wrong. That's a true thing. I'm not even making that up. That's not even a joke. I'm not even being funny. That's real. They don't believe that women can do wrong. So if a man, trust me, if a man were to do this crime, he'd be buried underneath the prison for raping a child, even though they would be like, no, I wanted the dick. Uh, but a girl gets the woman, she's 20. I guess she's still kind of a girl, isn't she? Um, she gets she gets a suspended sentence. She gets a slap on the wrist. Pussy pass accepted. Um, 2-year suspended sentence. That means this is suspended for 2 years. You don't do anything wrong. If in 2 years your nose is still clean, we'll just wipe it away. Unbelievable. It's all because women can't do anything wrong there. They're women are weak or, the women have no mental brain capacity to commit crime, apparently. I mean, as we'll see in some of these other videos, that's 100% not true. I mean, like, one of the things that England hasn't fully understood as a result of their judicial philosophy is that now men use women to do the crime. Women are now in many cases, the middlemen for the crime because they're like, what? She's going to get caught. She's going to get slapped on the wrist and and sent back to the street. That's the sort of that almost puts women in more danger. It's just really disgusting the way England does everything. It's kind of shocking how the mighty have fallen, right? All right. So, having initially believed the girl was 18, Rickson learned the truth about months into the arrangement, but continued to create content with her. Um, Believing a girl is 18 doesn't fly. If you're in a if if you're a dude in a bar and a girl comes up to you and she's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm 18," and she, for whatever reason, looks like she might be younger, you have no choice to say, "Well, miss, I know it's incredibly tense between us. The sexual tension is just too much to bear, but can I see your ID?" You have to ask for ID. You have to do it. Otherwise, you're still getting charged for statutory rape. You have to ask for ID. It's crazy. This girl, nope, not at all. But then she found out and then continued to do it. Like she was fine. She was fine scissoring a child. Man, the victim subsequently informed Merseyside police that Rickson, who turned 19 during the period of that agreement, had numerous indecent photographs and videos of her and was selling and posting them online. Oh man. Almost following Rickson's arrest last August, police found that she had taken 43 category A indecent images, the most serious of the girl, together with 11 in category B and 119 in category C. Of these, 7, 2, and 25 respectively had been distributed. All of this, and she gets to walk. Unbelievable. So, okay, so here is the OnlyFans girl. That's Ellie Rickson, the 20-year-old who was bumping tacos with a child. Um, you know what you might say? You might say that's gross. Not just bumping tacos with a kid. I'm talking about this beast of a woman is it's gross. Yeah, that is what I would say right there. Oh my heavens. Um, the defendant creates pornographic content which she sells online on social media and OnlyFans. The defendant would record her performing acts or being naked and post this online. The girl asked the defendant to take them down, but the defendant refused. The distribution can only be evidenced on WhatsApp and not on OnlyFans. Yeah. So ultimately, she is um she's getting nothing. Nothing, as it says here. Initial mention of a possible 6-year sentence drew a distressed response from a woman in the public gallery before Judge Neil Flewitt, KC, King's Counsel, intervened. "Just calm down a minute," said the judge. "She's not getting a sentence or anything like that." Yeah. So handing Rickson the 2-year suspended sentence, Judge Flewitt said, "Even though the girl did consent, what happened was still unlawful. I accept that. When it started, you did not realize her age, but you continued after you did find out how old she was. I am equally satisfied that you did not make very much money from this. The overwhelming likelihood is that you were being exploited, both of you, by somebody else. But it is not clear who that is. While you had an OnlyFans account, it is accepted that none of these images were distributed through that particular forum." See what I mean? Girls don't have brains in England. Girls in England are soulless, not maybe soulless, maybe just brainless vessels. Even though you raped the kid and you didn't check ID, and then you learned that she was a kid and you did continue to rape her, um, and that's bad and highly illegal. I accept that it's fine. Fine. I am equally satisfied that you didn't make much money. So you can rape kids if you don't make money? What is this judge saying? Man, like, listen, you made $50 too much past the limit of child rape. You need to go to jail. Like, really? There's a limit? I'm equally satisfied that you did not make very much money. What? But Your Honor, I didn't make money. Unbelievable. And the overwhelming likelihood is that you were being exploited, both of you. The overwhelming likelihood. So there is no proof. The judge, what, just reached into the fucking thin air and pulled this out? Oh, well, you couldn't be you, girl. The OnlyFans prostitute. She couldn't possibly have a brain in her head to do the raping of her own volition. No, it must have been what, a man? A man did the thing? There's no evidence of it, but it must be because girls don't have brains. Unbelievable. Good God. On to the next story. Pedophile judge and fire chief shared fantasies of abusing their own grandchildren before their twisted lives came crashing down. This is a two-part story. I've got two tabs for this here. The two outside, oh, sorry, to the outside world, they were respectable pillars of the community. A happily married fire chief and a distinguished county judge. We seem to have problems with judges nowadays, don't we? But behind closed doors, the pair were at the center of a sordid pedophile plot that has left their families shattered and two neighboring Utah cities reeling after their secret lives were exposed. Oh, so I get it. They're utarded. All right. Trempton Fire Chief Ned Brady Hansen, 54, and Judge Kevin Christensen, 64, of Brigham City are now locked up separately in the Weber and Davis County jails and have both been charged with multiple felony counts of child sexual exploitation. During the investigation, police discovered the pair had swapped vile fantasies about abusing their own grandchildren and were also engaging in extramarital gay sex sessions with each other. Yeah. Yep. 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 So there's this TikTok little not TikTok. Maybe it was TikTok. I saw it on Twitter. That's the point. It was a short little Twitter video where it had the screen split in half. It had some LGBTQ person up top, and then, like, I don't know, somebody on the bottom, and the person on the bottom was like, "Hey, so listen, LGBTQ consists of some small percent. Was it like 4% or whatever? And yet they commit some very large percent of sexual crimes against children. What why is that? Why do you think that's okay?" To which the person on the top of the screen was like kind of like flustered by the fact. They're like, "Oh my god." And then they kind of like because love is love. And then obviously, at that moment, that's like a mic drop moment, and the guy in the bottom's like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, because love is love. Is that why? Is that why? So in extramarital gay sex sessions, so they're gay. Okay, they're gay, and they are pedos, gay pedos. I've covered that a bunch on this channel. That seems to be a thing. Now, obviously, not all gay people. I have way more gay friends than I ever thought I would, and they're all beautiful, loving, wonderful people. Um, but there is that dark side, and you could say, Sean, there's that dark side to everything, and you'd be right, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, fucking just leave kids alone. That's ultimately the point I'm getting at. Jesus Christ, so they're gay and trying to fuck their grandchildren. That's gross. Okay, carrying on. We're all devastated. Trempton Mayor Lyle Holmgren told Daily Mail in an interview, "We're all shocked by what has happened in our community, and we're saddened. We're saddened for the victims and for those who have been affected by this." Holmgren, who fired Hansen hours after his January 27th arrest, said both the fire chief and Christensen had been model members of the community, well liked and successful, offering no outward hint of depravity within. Ah, goodness. But then in November last year, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children reported that an internet user had engaged in the distribution, possession of child sex child sex abuse material, and law enforcement identified him as Hansen. The fire chief court papers reveal. Oh man, the wives must be mortified, absolutely mortified. The police investigation revealed a very different side to the two men and unearthed repulsive conversations on the messaging app Kick that saw both solicit child pornography and Hansen reveal his desire to abuse infants, even telling a contact he wanted an infant to use his penis as a pacifier. Um, I don't I don't like that. Um, I don't like that one bit. Other revolting discussions included saying he would like to rape a little girl aged as young as 3 and a sinister chat about kidnapping a homeless child to abuse, it is alleged. Well, this video is, I think, at least on YouTube, this is now an 18 plus video. Yeah. So there's that. Hansen, a dad of 4 children from 2 marriages, also described wanting to drug and rape an unconscious person. He said he would molest a child if he thought he could get away with it, and shared graphic pornographic images and videos of girls aged 9 and 13, or between 9 and 13, rather. Um, I can't. What the fuck? Like, you would think a judge, like a fire chief going to a judge being like, "Hey, listen, I wanna fuck a baby," right? And then the judge is just like, "Hey, you know what? I'm a judge, you can't say stuff like that." But no, the judge is like, "Hey, I agree." I think I would say that the that judge's history should probably, be looked at, right? Like, his sentencing history, because if he ever had any pedophiles in front of him, he probably sentenced them way light. Incredibly light, probably slaps on the wrist, knowing what was on his own phone. Like, I think all of those need to be, like, vacated and, like, resentenced. According to, sister-in-law, Tia, and her sister Autumn, who shares a 7-year-old daughter with Hanson. They had no idea of her husband's depraved fantasies and added that the family had been left in shock following his arrest. It all came as a huge shock. We're just trying to hang on. Yeah, I don't doubt it. In a shocking twist, Hansen made his first court appearance in front of Christensen at the Box Elder County Justice Court, who, despite being all too familiar with the fire chief's perverted fantasies and their own sexual sex sessions, released him on a $50,000 bond. That bond was revoked March 12th following the disgraced judge's own arrest. That's dirty. That's dirty. Like, imagine, like, the pedophile fire chief is sitting in the fucking, you know, penalty box there, and the judge who's overseeing his case, that the guy's like the fire chief is like, "I know you fuck kids too, and you sucked my dick." It w Man, that would take everything for him not to say anything. Christensen, who was first appointed to the court in 1996, was collared on March 6th at his family home. He shared with his wife. The disgraced judge was snared after cops seized several phones and tablets during a raid on Hanson's home. Oh man, the one brought down the other. The FBI investigation into the devices unearthed exchanges between Hanson and Christensen that were graphically sexual and involved discussion of sexually abusing children, the papers say. According to an affidavit included in the case, Hanson, the depraved pair, also discussed being turned on by and wanting to share their grandchildren. Oh my God. Cops noted that in the context of the messages, share means to sexually abuse, right? I think we all probably got that. When police seized Christensen's own devices, they found a trove of explicit conversations, including 2 exchanges between the 64-year-old and 2 girls aged 13 and 16. In one, Christensen allegedly asked the 13-year-old about masturbation and shared a disgusting fantasy about wanting to make a porn movie featuring the child and one of his granddaughters. Jesus, these guys aren't gonna stand a chance in jail, especially a judge, eh? They're gonna have to keep him separate. He's gonna get fucked up, deservedly so. The other saw the 16-year-old send a photograph of her breasts, to which he replied, "Oh wow, I love your tits." He also sent her images of his penis and a video of himself masturbating and asked her, "Do you do live pics or vids?" Um, Listen, if we're honest here, men's bodies aren't exactly, unless it's like a peak physical specimen, men's bodies they're not brilliant, are they? They're kind of ugly. They're not pretty like a lady's body. Um, there's no way a 16-year-old girl looked at a 65-year-old man jerking it and going, "Oh my god, I'm so turned on." That must have been horrifying. It's really, it must have been awful. Other sickening exchanges dating back as far as last March include discussions with adult users in which he declared, "I love young," and asked whether others for explicit photos showing child sex abuse. Man, these guys are just the worst. A neighbor told Daily Mail Christian's family had been left devastated by the revelations. Why couldn't I say that? That's weird. With shell-shocked Karen having now left the family home to stay with her son. Yeah. So if we tab over here at the second half of the story, Pennsylvania fire chief admits to throwing his baby daughter on her head and fracturing her skull. Like, this dude was bad. Pennsylvania fire chief has oh no, this is a different story. That was Utah. Oh, okay. I don't I don't know why I mean, I guess there's just a lot of fire chief news. Anyway, so this is a different one. This is all right, chat. I thought this was the same story. It's not. This is a Pennsylvania fire chief has admitted hurling his infant daughter to the ground and fracturing her skull because she was crying, according to police. Falls Township Fire Chief Brian Salt, 36, allegedly lost control when he could not stop his 3-month-old baby from sobbing while his wife Rebecca was at work on March 11th. After throwing his baby, Salt took her to his in-laws' house and told them he did not know the baby sustained a bump on her head. A complaint obtained by NBC Philadelphia claims. Now, listen, on the one hand, I understand this fella. He's obviously a bad dude, although probably not fully a bad dude. It's almost hard to explain unless you have kids. Um, there there comes a time when you are so tired, you're just absolutely just you're so tired, and you start to lose executive functions. The more advanced parts of your brain are higher up and forward, right? The more primal, animalistic lizard brain, it's lower down into the back. So we're talking about like the base of your skull, right? The top of your neck. And so as you get more and more tired, you start to, you know, lose things like emotional regulation. That's like the first to go. Regulating your emotions is very difficult. Even me now, a well-rested grown man, I can't do it. Um, but also logic, speaking, you start to lose all of these things. And then so if you have a baby that's crying, and I mean I've had many, right? I got 4 young autistic sons, as pretty much everyone knows. And I've had the period of what do they call it? Period of purple crying. It's almost like colic where they just cry, they just cry, they just cry. But also, a gas bubble gets stuck, right? And you gotta do everything you can. There's like it's a very short list of what babies need, right? They need to be changed, they need to be fed, and not necessarily in this order, but you have to make sure they're all done. changed, fed, and, like, burped, and I think that's pretty much it's a list of, like, 3 things that you have to make sure that they need, right? And so, if you got a little gas bubble that's stuck and they're just crying, they're crying, they're crying, they're crying, gotta pump their legs, pat them on the back, do, like, all kinds of things, right? And, my kids would cry for hours and hours and hours, and I could almost feel myself be, like mentally, I was, like, 1 or 2 seconds behind my actions, right? Kinda like if you're playing a racing game and you're racing the ghost, so, like, your best lap around a racetrack, right? And you're trying to beat that, and it's a ghost, so it's a car you can see, but you can drive through and all that, right? It basically shows you your best thing. So, it's almost like that, right? Where I'm, like, 1 or 2 seconds behind my actions mentally, and where I've been trying to calm down the kids, and they've just screamed, or they've just done something, and I've just wanted to shut them up. Just yeah, and it just comes out. It's almost not even you. It's like that primal, and you're not human at that point. I mean, literally, sure you are, but figuratively, no, you're not. And you just have to, like, for safety, put the baby down, and you have to walk away. Go get a Coke and a smile. Go have a fucking, a coffee, a tea, go nap. Your kid's fine. Your baby's fine in their crib. They're fine. Sure, they're screaming and whatever. Put on headphones. Absolutely, get headphones. Go go make a sandwich, whatever. Um, your baby's fine in the crib. They're safe. That's sort of the point of the crib, right? But yeah, so some people, they are too far behind their actions mentally. And so all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, shut up." And they do a shake. And then by the time their mind catches up to their actions, oh, the baby's dead, or the baby's really hurt, or the baby's across the room. And yeah, most parents have been there. And I don't know, you just it's really not as easy as, "Hey, just don't shake the baby," because sometimes it gets away from you. And I'm not condoning it. Obviously, shaking babies is bad. It's a thing that you've done. Sure, your mind was not in the correct place, but it's up to you to understand how to mitigate that from the outset, right? I think hospitals even give you, like, the literature and the courses and all that, like, all the resources are available. And, yeah, so you don't get to shake your baby and then be like, "But my mind wasn't there," right? We don't shake babies, we don't throw babies. We just don't do it. Um, in fact, there is there is a petition to get baby shaken, penalties, much higher in Utah. I know this took place in Pennsylvania, but, a dear friend of mine had her baby shaken in Utah, and, child's fine, had a bit of an injury, he's okay now, but it was a slap on the wrist. Yep. Shaking babies is fine in Utah. So she has a petition to the powers that be in Utah to, do that. I'll make sure that link is down below in the description. So if you're maybe keen on helping with that, maybe do that. Maybe sign that. Um, but yeah, okay. So after, throwing his baby, he took it, to the in-laws' house and said he didn't understand that there was a bump on the head. Salt and his wife then took, their daughter to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, where doctors discovered the child suffered a skull fracture. She, also reportedly had bruises on her legs and blood in her eyes. So he must have whipped this kid, just tossed it like a softball. Investigators were called to the hospital to look into the incident. The next day, doctors had determined the injuries were a result of substantial force, according to the affidavit. At first, both Salt and Rebecca said they had no idea how the baby was injured. The story was that there was no story. That's what Falls Township Police Detective told NBC. But in a revealing follow-up interview on Thursday, Salt reportedly divulged he had lost his patience with his daughter, who was fussy and had colic. He then allegedly took the baby out of a swing and harmed her. In his own words, he just lost control, he lost his cool, and in the process of actually picking her up from a swing, he took her out of the swing and then threw her to the ground. No, man, your baby's safe in the baby swing. They're safe. They're safe in the baby swing. Just go outside. I mean, it's hard, right? Because you feel like your baby's crying, so you have to calm them down. You can't. It's one, it's a baby. What are you gonna do? Talk sense to a baby? But two, if your baby has colic or purple crying or whatever the hell is called, or even an errant gas bubble, um, you gotta walk away. There's nothing you can do. I mean, with a gas bubble, yeah, you can pump the legs and burp them and try hold them like a football or whatever. There's techniques you can do, but until you're in the right state of mind, maybe don't try and do them, or you're gonna throw your baby to the ground. Yeah, well, just walk away, man. It's always just walk away. Put them safe. Walk away, or get some big headphones. Like this guy, he's a fire chief, right? So I'm sure he's got headphones. Probably does at a station, noise canceling ones or big earmuffs. That that's helped me quite a bit. So that's that. Second fire chief today we're talking about. My goodness, this one. Maybe you remember the Kentucky sheriff. Was it Mickey? I think his name was Sean. Sean Steins. He goes by Mickey. Mickey Steins. Kentucky sheriff finally reveals his defense for shooting judge friend in a crime that shocked America. We yeah, we don't really know what happened. He like what the like they're friends that they had lunch. It's crazy. And they like he they had lunch together every day. They were homeboys. He goes in and he just pulls out his gun and he fires them or fires his firearm. Bop, 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 bop. And then the guy's like, on the ground, and he walks up and he puts like two more in him or whatever. Like, and then he leaves, and then he like, everyone is like, oh my god, and he like surrenders himself. It's a crazy story. The conspiracy theories were pretty intense. Like, the judge was diddling the daughter of the sheriff. In fact, there was actually a lot of rumors and reports that maybe that was it, but we don't actually know. Nothing has been confirmed. But let's see what this says. So, a former Kentucky sheriff claims he is not guilty of murdering his judge friend dead in his chambers because he acted in a moment of insanity and extreme emotional stress. No one's gonna buy that unless unless it turns out 100% the judge was diddling his kid, 'cause he's got a young daughter. No one is going to buy that. No one. Absolutely, no one's gonna buy that. They're gonna be like, "Bro, we saw you. You looked pretty goddamn calm on camera, because it's on camera. The whole thing, the whole murder is on camera." They're gonna watch that. I don't know how many times the jury is gonna see this video, and, they're gonna be like, "No, bro, you were pretty calm. You even went back to put 2 more in him to make sure he was dead." Like, you were not freaking out. You weren't yelling. You weren't, you know, clamoring on. You just killed him. It was pretty assassin-like. Um, yeah, so a moment of insanity and extreme emotional stress. So Sean Mickey Steins, 43, is I can't believe he's a couple years older than me. My goodness. Is charged with the murder of District Judge Kevin Mullins, 54, in his office in September. The shooting was caught on video, but the motive of the murder remains unclear. Steins intends to present expert evidence relating to a mental disease or defect or mental condition bearing on the issue of guilt and punishment, his lawyer said in a court filing. The lawyer previously hinted that Steins would plead not guilty by way of insanity, but the addition of extreme emotional stress sheds new light on his state of mind. We're gonna need to find out what that thing was that caused such an emotional stress, and how that person thought the murder of that person would eliminate the stress. The former sheriff also intends to present a defense of insanity as well as of extreme emotional disturbance. The filing reads, Stein's attorney has previously said the case will hinge on testimony that Steins gave at a deposition days before the shooting. That deposition is basically that there was a sheriff's deputy or whatever who was doing sexual things with people, maybe against their will, in this judge's office, and the judge was a part of it. That's why there's a camera in the judge's chambers. There's not supposed to be cameras in judges' chambers, but there is now. Um, right. An accuser in that case claimed that she was forced by a former deputy to have sex in Mullen's chambers for 6 months in exchange for staying at a jail. So, like, the girl had an ankle monitor, but she couldn't pay for the ankle monitor or whatever. And so the deputy was like, "Hey, you know what? You fuck me in this little room here, and I'll make sure you don't have to pay this month for or this week for the ankle monitor or whatever." The defense attorney said Sheriff Steins feared that backlash from his deposition testimony caused him to fear that his or his family's lives were in danger. Something else seems to be going on a little bit. Like, I mean, he looks like a creep, that guy. Anyways, Bartley claims Stein's mental health was affected by the perceived threat that stemmed from the deposition. Ultimately, he was in fear for the safety of his wife and his daughter. And I think what you see there is the result of that. I don't. I don't know. It seems like the reaction is disproportionate to what the perceived threat is, and I don't think a jury's gonna buy it. And often, even if you get off on insanity, like not guilty by way of insanity or whatever, you still go to jail. It's just not a jail; it's a psychiatric facility. It comes amid allegations that Judge Mullins himself may have been tied to a sex for favors scandal in the small town of Whitesburg. When Steins was taken into custody for the shooting, he allegedly exclaimed, "They're trying to kidnap my wife and kid." Now, that could be something. If somehow someone was trying to get the wife and the kid of Mickey, maybe that would cause me to snap. I'm sure that would cause you to snap. Accuser Sabrina Atkins claimed that she was forced, alongside other women, to have sex with former deputy in exchange for favorable treatment after their arrests. Um, she told News Nation that Judge Mullins does have some videotapes of some stuff in the judge's chambers with uh, just with girls, sexual and stuff. Yeah, so that's that. To do this one. NYC male teen raped by female psychologist named Bigfoot over 30 times in juvenile jail. That sounds terrifying, especially because her name is Bigfoot. So, a New York teen was allegedly raped more than 30 times by his female counselor, whose nickname is Bigfoot, at an upstate juvenile detention facility. The alleged victim, who's now 21, was only 17 years old when he was sent to Brookwood Youth Facility in Claverack, about 114 miles from Manhattan, where he had met the facility's associate psychologist, Maya Hayes. Hayes reportedly held frequent counseling sessions with the teen, whose name has been withheld, in her private office, according to the teen's legal filing. The then juvenile victim claimed the sexual abuse began just 3 months after he arrived at the Claverack facility. Um, I mean, some people would be like, "Oh no, you're in jail, and there's this woman who keeps pulling you out of your jail cell so you can hump her. Oh no, that's terrible." I mean, part of me goes, "I know, right?" But the other part of me goes, "No, it's against his will and it's bad, and he was a kid. You can't do that." That's the more important part. Um, Hayes used and exploited her position of trust and authority to her disgusting advantage and her own depraved benefit to sexually abuse and exploit as many children as possible under the guise of performing routine and necessary counseling session, the teen claimed. Yeah, like you don't know if what was dripping out of that woman when she calls you into her office. I mean, that's really gross. It could have been a stew. It could have been a young boy stew up in that, and you were forced to stir the pot, if you know what I mean. That's gross. Way gross. Facility staff apparently knew what was going on, he alleged. Um, "Are you doing things with Bigfoot?" Workers allegedly asked the teen, according to court filing. "We see you in there with Dr. Hayes doing nasty stuff," staffers allegedly told the accuser. It is not clear as to why Hayes has been named Bigfoot, probably because she lurks. I bet her feet are probably fine. She's not a hulking woman. She looks like a normal woman, so she's not, like, grotesque or anything, right? She's probably because she lurks around. The suit, also claims that Hayes, told the teen that, she dreamed about him, that, she had a previous guy inside, Brookwood who resembled a victim and broke her heart. Oh, dear. The counselor, even conned the victim's parents into sending $100 payment to her Cash App, seemingly to pay for his food and hygiene product, according to the lawsuit. Wow. So that's that. So this is the woman. I guess post in comment or whatever what you think of this woman. Do you want to be sexually assaulted by this woman as a young boy in jail? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? There's been much worse. Much worse have raped boys. Oh no, that's another teacher. That's another teacher. That's this story here. See, that's another teacher. Daily Mail sometimes blends 2 stories together, and they don't clearly tell you that. That's the next one. So we don't know what Bigfoot looks like. We don't know. She could literally look like a Bigfoot, or she could just lurk around or whatever. Who knows? Married teacher's lewd text messages to 15-year-old student she's accused of abusing. "I love having sex with you." That's this teacher. This is a teacher. Shocking lewd text messages. A married teacher allegedly sent her 15-year-old student she's accused of sexually assaulting have been revealed. Christina Formella, 30, an Illinois special education teacher. Not always fucking that's always wild to me because kids with like autism or Down syndrome or things like that have special education teachers. They kind of like you know it's close to home. I would be mortified if anyone preyed on my children like that. So special education teacher and soccer coach at high school in Chicago, was taken into custody during a traffic stop on Sunday. Court documents have now furthered sexual abuse claims, with one text exchange appearing to show the two professing their love for one another. Messages from the student show him telling Formella he loves her and him referring to her as mama. Like, diddle me harder, mama. Formella allegedly replies, I love you so much, baby. Even though this morning was short, it was perfect. I know, baby. It was perfect, baby. So perfect. The student wrote back, I love having sex with you. Formella is accused of replying in text first reported by a local news channel. I know, baby. I love it so much. It feels so good. It's so passionate. It's so intimate. It's so perfect. The student replied, oh my God. Like, maybe not bad look when she was college. So she is married to her college sweetheart, Michael, who she met while studying at Concordia University. Court documents allege that Formella had also written about the student in her notes app on her phone. Formella told police that she used the app as an outlet for her anxiety, and references about sex were only about her husband. The alleged assault occurred in December 2023, but the student's mother found disturbing messages last week when she logged into her son's iCloud account after she bought him a new phone. Investigation has alleged that the inappropriate relationship started when the student had stayed after school for a tutoring session. The teacher has maintained that she never sexually assaulted the student and that everybody comes after her because she's good looking, according to documents. Well, chat, what do you think? What do you think? Is this a good looking woman? I've seen worse. For the raping of students, I've seen much worse. She confessed to police that she cared too much about the student, but claimed that he broke into her phone and sent the text messages as blackmail. She claimed that, of course, right? Accountability. Accountability. I confessed to police that, wait, no, she claimed that one day the boy grabbed her phone unattended, had entered her passcode, and had sent the message to his phone, and then deleted the message from her phone and had saved it to his phone as blackmail. The documents. Um, That okay, so you can do that, absolutely, 100% you can do that, but there would be time codes, right? So, it wouldn't be a quick thing. He would have to have his that phone for the duration of what the texts say, and, how does he know the passcode? What is it, like, 7 no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? That's the kind of passcode an idiot puts on his luggage, you know what I mean? Um, so, county state attorney said the allegations were extremely disturbing and promised the community that the type of abuse and behavior alleged in this case will not be tolerated. Well, you know what? A lot of places seem to say, you know what? Diddling kids will not be tolerated. There's an awful lot of tolerating because it's happening fucking worldwide, really, but all across America, it's happening. It's happening all across England. It happens in Canada. Like it, it's happening all over the place. Yeah, she okay, when she was in college, she was actually quite pretty. Court documents also showed that she was a coach to the student alleging the sexual assault. She's been married to her college sweetheart, since August 2024. Yikes. It's always newlyweds always step out on their husbands to bang kids. It's so strange to me. So, yeah, that's that story. What else do we got here? We got, oh, just we'll be wrapping this up. Just some silly ones here. Former MSNBC Joy Reid has resurfaced for the first time since being fired by the liberal network just to wildly claim that Canada would most definitely beat the U.S. in a war. They burned the White House to the ground in 1814 and won the war. Uh, well, I mean, the full quote here is first of all, you can't make Canada the 51st state without going to war with them. Let me explain how that happened and how that worked out last time we tried to go to war with Canada. They burned the White House to the ground in 1814 and won the war. Um, yes, yes, Canada did that. Canada was a different country back then. America was a different country back then, and the only thing that she actually says here that makes any sense is that you can't make Canada the 51st state. That's stupid. And listen, Americans, if you believe that Canada can be all of Canada, a nation larger than America, the second largest nation on the planet, if you think that is going to be one state, then I listen, I got a bridge to sell you. You're an idiot. Genuinely. Now, could Canada because there's listen, could Canada be the 51st to 63rd state? Yes. That's the thing because there's 13 provinces and territories, right? So, why not just 51 to 63? It'll be easy instead of I mean, unless you're saying 51st state to, you know, to sort of dumb down the issue to like get a vague point across. Sure, I get that, but realistically, technically, 51st to 63rd, that's what it would be, or 64th. Um, that's basically it, right? Um, but yeah, Canada is a vastly different nation. Our military is super woke, super woke. We are under our military is underfunded, undermanned, under equipped. We have 3 days of ammunition. Trudeau sent it all over to Ukraine, and then he took our guns away and sent those to Ukraine as well. We're not allowed to have firearms. We're not we're not allowed to carry knives. We're not allowed to carry bows and arrows. We're not allowed to carry pepper spray, bear spray, shark spray. We can't carry any of that. We can be in trouble if we are walking around suspicious with a baseball bat. If we don't have a baseball glove, that kind of thing, right? So, um, no, invading Canada would actually be very easy. Now, Alberta, let's be honest about Alberta. Alberta will give you some trouble because they still have guns out there, but the rest of the place, nah, you're gonna find that invading Canada is going to be really, really easy. We don't we don't have political will. We don't have political capital. Most Canadians are absolutely just dumb. They think Trudeau did a fine job and that everything is fine and that the only trouble that we're in now is because of Donald Trump. They're crazy. They're just buried their head into the sand because they can't focus on the news because they're just trying to survive. Invading Canada would be a walk in the park. And then I think what we'll do is, well, no, we'll take a look at this one. Scientists who made vast city discovery beneath Egypt's Gaza pyramid claim it was built by a long, advanced civilization. So, a purported vast underground city in Egypt is tens of thousands of years older than the Giza pyramids. Scientists have shockingly claimed. If true, it would turn Egyptian and human history on its head. Though independent experts have called it outlandish and crazy talk. So they're saying there's like they're saying there's like a city, like a big so you got the pyramids, right? And there appear to be like massive shafts underneath. Oh my god, maybe the pyramid is the spaceship. Um like an Elon spaceship, with all those little raptor are they raptors, little engines? Anyways, yeah, they're saying it's like a city underneath the pyramid. That's pretty crazy. They've claimed to identify the hidden structures using radar pulses to create high resolution images deep to the ground beneath the structures, the same way sonar radar is used to map the ocean's depth. That's crazy. So I guess the mainstream scientists are saying that's poppycock. Probably because this will change everything that they've ever known about everything, and that's painful. So yeah, that's interesting. Eh? I think that's pretty cool. Now we'll finish here. We'll finish with this. Woke mega brand sees sales slump after being left with warehouse full of clothes and shoes that no one wants. What's that? Nike. Right here. Nike is still struggling. Can you believe it? Nike. The company that went so woke, they were like, yes, yes, we will wash the balls of Kaepernick. We'll just blah, blah, we'll gargle those balls. The iconic shoe company just reported a shocking sales collapse that has fans worried about the store's future. It's a bleak update in the saga that has seen arguably America's most legendary athletic fashion brand struggle to put popular products on its shelves. Well, one of the things is Nike wasn't necessarily supposed to be just a fashion brand, athletic fashion brand. It was actually supposed to be genuine athletic gear. And they've sort of went away with that, and so they're like, "Oh my god, you're a BLM activist, let me dress you. Let us clothe you." It's gross. It's gross. Like, I won't buy Nike anymore. I won't. To me, it seems like the only thing Nike has going for them is brand image to justify outrageous prices. One customer recently complained on Reddit, $200 for a sneaker? Yeah, right. And I remember when they were way more than that. And I'm not talking about fancy ones. Just that they were really, really expensive just because Nike, you know what I mean? But they'd fall apart like 6 months later, and you're like, who's the Chinese kid that put these things together? Obviously, they didn't use enough glue. Nike's sales dropped 9%, a staggering 1.6 billion fall in revenue for the shoes, track shirts, and t-shirts. Executives said the slowdown was likely because Chinese consumers are cutting back on spending. There are several reasons for Nike's struggles. For years, conservatives have criticized Nike for partnership with political activists and athletes such as Colin Kaepernick, who protested during the national anthem, viewing it as a shift towards woke culture. Also, don't forget they had that big Dylan Mulvaney thing, right? Where they're doing like the can or some and then jumping jacks or whatever, and she's like and then he was like, "I'm athletic." Yeah. We're not doing that anymore, Nike. We're done. Does woke messaging hurt businesses? Check mark, yes. 94% of people agree. Amazing. The company's stance on social issues and commitment to diversity and inclusion have led some to accuse it of prioritizing activism over traditional American values. In particular, conservatives spoke out against the company's all-female Super Bowl ad. Oh, yeah. That was a bad one. That was a really, really, really bad ad. Caitlin Clark, the dominant WNBA player, was a central figure in the ad campaign, and now Nike is also facing stiff competition from rising competitors in the U.S. Hoka, Brooks, and Saucony. I always I always mispronounce that. Are all gaining sales in athletic sneaker industry after spending millions of dollars on branding deals with running clubs and community events. It's because these companies are actually focusing on the technology to make their athletic products athletic for athletics, if that makes sense, as opposed to we are putting our money into fashion and clothing the activists. These brands are often more nimble, often trendy designs at lower price points and delivering more. eco-conscious messaging. Well, I guess maybe eco-conscious. It's so stupid. Nike, by contrast, has struggled with inventory numbers in its stores. Company rarely offers major discounts on its top-end shoes, including iconic Air Jordans. Yeah, so that's that. They're gonna be like, "Oh, China's going through a recession." They're not really. And, "Oh my god, China's doing this," and they're not. No, China has other things to buy. That's what it does. China, other things to buy. Who knew? Um, so anyways, that's that. This hour-long video full of news, a lot of really messed up news, but, um, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Do follow me at Third Railify on YouTube, at Third Railify on Twitter. But most importantly, at Third Railify on Rumble. Rumble is where I do all of my live streaming. I'm not welcome to live stream on YouTube anymore. I was demonetized for having the audacity to criticize a long since dead Jeffrey Epstein. Seriously, pedophiles stick together, I guess. So all of my live streaming is on Rumble. Monday nights, I stream with Darnell Quigley and Killer Games Mike. To, 2 salt of the earth guys, totally in the know when it comes to pop culture, and, so we have Pop Culture Beatdown on Monday. On Wednesday, I have a little show, a Boot Nothing. It's called a Boot Nothing because it's literally low stakes. It's a Boot Nothing, literally, with my friend Gina of, Mom's Mysteries and Mayhem. It's low stakes, it's funny, you know, that's the point. And then the big one that's been going for 2 years now, Saturday Night Off the Rails, where we cover s it was almost like this, where we cover news stories and whatnot, and I try to get guests, try to get some big name guests and whatnot, and, yeah, and just discuss things, and that is with my friend and colleague, Chris of The Morning Mayhem. So Rumble is basically where it's at. I do also have a very, very tiny itty bitty baby infant. It's basically just a sperm. That's how small it is. A gaming channel called Third Rail Gaming. That's also on Rumble. I try and do some video games here and there. But yeah, so that's that. Do follow, subscribe, and all that stuff. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Um, I guess I'll see you in my next live stream because you're all obviously going to Rumble to watch it. I know you are. You have to because this was a great hour, wasn't it? Anyways, see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.